Hello guys, John Joker 12 back here again with another top 5 picks. Today I'm going to be talking about my personal top 5 anime characters slash animes. It's kind of a half-breed, it's specifically more of my favorite anime characters of all time, but it can also count as my favorite animes and just in general. Obviously, like most of my top 5, this is very subjective. This is my personal thoughts on and my personal opinions on these characters and my personal picks. Obviously, no one's going to agree with me. A lot of you won't, but if you have any differences, please feel free to comment and give me your own top 5 picks. But let's get this started already to number 5, and that has to go right down to a tie. It's between the Elric Brothers, Full Metal Alchemist. I know it's kind of a cheat, but at the same time, if you're going to like anime, and if you're going to get into anime, Full Metal Alchemist is a perfect example of what anime is today. And you can't go anywhere without seeing the Elric brothers together. It's kind of hard to choose between them. There's kind of no point in it because it's kind of like choosing between Batman and Robin. I mean, I know you could try, but if you're going to do it, you just got to have the full package. The Elric brothers are really amazing characters. They're fun, they're funny, they're very dedicated to what they're trying to accomplish, and they have a goal in mind, and that's to try to rectify, so to speak, what they've done to each other and to the broken lives that they left behind. And it's a very sad story when you get down to it. They made 2 animes of it, Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood. Brotherhood's a lot better because it gets a lot more deep into the manga storyline and stuff, but overall the entire franchise of Full Metal Alchemist is amazing, and the Elric brothers are a staple in the anime culture, period, and they're my personal pick of number 5. Number 4 has to go to Rurouni Kenshin. It's hard to say it, but Rurouni Kenshin. It's been a long fucking time since I said this or even looked at the anime, but just like Fullmetal Alchemist and lots of other animes like that, this is another anime that came like in the 90s and in the early 2000s, in the heyday of anime culture in America. And this anime definitely goes up there with one of my top 5 picks because it's just one of those animes that I grew up with. Same thing with the manga. It's a very classic storyline. It's very deep into Japanese culture, specifically older, but it's just an amazing story. You know, you follow Himura through his ups and downs. He comes from a different culture where he was previously an assassin, and all he is trying to thrive for is to create a better world for him. He has caused so much just destruction and pain for others, and he dedicates his life to helping people, and that's what the generalization of the entire anime slash manga is all about. And Rurouni Kenshin definitely inspires a lot what I do. I mean, like, it's definitely a great template for one of my big projects of today, which is Jack Gambit. If you look at Jack Gambit, you can see where majority of it was inspired by this specific anime slash manga. It's just an amazing anime, amazing character, and it's definitely one of those things that one of those characters that inspired me. But moving on to, just to speed this up, number 4, okay, let's get into number 3, which has to go to, oh man, Yusuke Urameshi, Yu Yu Hakusho. It's just one of those things that I had to put there. I know there's lots and lots and lots of great animes and mangas, but Yu Yu Hakusho is just an amazing anime. It was definitely right after the Dragon Ball and Pokemon boom of anime in America, but it definitely came up there, and it definitely stayed for a good while. And I do wish they could have done more with it. I wish they could have like rebooted it or give it a sequel series or something, because it definitely deserved it. It's an amazing show, and Yusuke is awesome. He's just a really cool character. He's really funny. He's really cool. He's dedicated. He's a strong warrior. He thrives to be the best. He's very deep. He's a very deep character, and he has a really awesome power. And it's one of those things that when you were a kid, you just do all the fucking time, like the spirit gun and all that shit. It was just amazing. It was fun, and and I just love Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, it's like Bleach before there was a Bleach. And if you want to be an anime fan, and if you want to get into deep anime stuff, you have to watch and read Yu Yu Hakusho. It's definitely a show that predates Bleach and has a lot of those type of tendencies. But it's amazing, amazing, amazing manga / anime. I just wish they could have done more with it. But moving on to number 2 has to be Spike Spiegel, Cowboy Bebop. I know it's not based off a manga, and I know it's mostly just an anime, and it's a very short-lived anime, but Cowboy Bebop is just awesome. It's like, I said this tons and tons of times, but it's very like Akira. Like, it's just like, Akira's a great anime movie, but when you watch this movie, you think, this is not anime, this is just a really badass movie that has a lot of fucking amazing, amazing artwork, but an amazing director / writer working on this. You have an amazing team working on this movie that makes it feel serious. It's like when you watch a Scorsese film, you're not just watching some regular old movie, you're watching a fucking movie, a film, some serious fucking problems. But Cowboy Bebop definitely goes on there with the animes. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of animes that you can take serious, but are very over-exaggerated and don't take themselves completely seriously. And Cowboy Bebop has tendencies like that, where they slide into the comedy world, and you have like characters like the fucking dog Ian and Edward, and occasionally Faye, and occasionally Spike himself would do something funny and goofy. But overall, it's a very serious story that I love a lot, because it has a lot of American culture deep into the roots of this anime. It's just a badass anime. A fucking awesome character, Spike Spiegel. It's just one of those things where I can just go on and on and on, but all you're gonna think about is like, oh, why is that so important? Go on YouTube, go to your fucking store, go fucking get something Cowboy Bebop, and you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Alright? But moving on, that was my number 2. Before I get to my number 1, let me give out some honorable mentions. Obviously, a lot of people are going to think like, what the fuck's your problem, dude? Why don't you put One Piece or Naruto on your top 5, or Attack on Titan or something? I'm sorry, but this is my personal top 5, and all I gotta say is, they're definitely honorable mentions. Attack on Titan, One Piece, Naruto, they're ongoing shows, just like Bleach. They're ongoing, and the specific anime / characters that I picked for this list specifically are older. I mean, like, I know these animes are kind of old, but they still continue to go on. But I specifically like the older shows, and I specifically like manga / animes from like the 90s and like the 80s and predates that. I'm more into that I'm like more of that anime fan. I'm more of the nostalgic kind of guy. I don't know if that's because I'm getting older and shit, but I don't know. I just prefer it, It was better back then. I mean, not to say that anime today sucks, it's just their characters are kind of hard to get really by. They're really more or less anti-heroes, or they're really douchebags, or they're not really heroic like they were back in the day. But I definitely have to give it up to those animes today for as an honorable mention, like One Piece and Naruto, because just because they're not on my list or because I watch them constantly like most anime fans, doesn't mean I'm trying to bash them. They're very huge, they're very successful today. And I appreciate them because they're keeping anime alive, technically. You go to Japan, you can't go anywhere without seeing something One Piece. It's impossible. Or maybe it is, I don't fucking know. I've never been to Japan, so I don't really know. But they're definitely going to be on my honorable mention. But the time has come, let's get right on to it, to my number 1. Son Goku Dragon Ball series. I just had to do it. I know it's like, oh, for me, it's like cliche. It's like, you fucking half-assed asshole. The fuck you. You know, I just had to do it. If it wasn't for Dragon Ball in general, I wouldn't even be into anime. You know, if it wasn't for Goku and his gang and the entire Dragon Ball universe, I wouldn't be into anime. I wouldn't be into manga. I wouldn't even give a fuck. I wouldn't even know what Japan was. Like, is Japan a place or is that like imaginary? When I was a kid, I had no fucking clue, but when I saw Dragon Ball, I was like, this is Japanese shit, and this is awesome. Son Goku is an amazing character. If you want to be in anime, just like the rest of the other characters slash animes that I mentioned on this list, you have to watch Dragon Ball. If it wasn't for a Dragon Ball, majority of the characters and mangas that I named wouldn't even exist. I mean, they may have, but maybe they wouldn't have the popularity. I don't know. It's possible. But overall, definitely Son Goku goes on my number one list of greatest anime characters slash animes for Dragon Ball and Goku. But that's pretty much it. This has been my list. I hope you enjoyed my list. Obviously, this is subjective. This is my personal opinion. If you have any differences, please feel free to give your own list. What's your top 5 anime characters slash animes of all time? And that's going to be it for my list today, and I hope you enjoyed.